Welcome, or as they say in the beautiful language of Swahili, Karibu, to the Kenyan edition of the Future of Marketing and Advertising in Africa. I'm your moderator for this panel discussion, David Wordy. Kenya is recognized as one of the most thriving economies in East Africa, and we're here in the green city under the sun, its capital Nairobi, whose remarkable growth in the past 120 years shows no signs of slowing down. With a population of 4.4 million, it is now home to major international companies and organizations and is an established hub with its own securities exchange and Africa's fourth largest, capable of up to 10 million trades a day. As with any country, it is not without its challenges, with unemployment rates down on prior year but still high at 9.30% of the working population. Nowhere is this more keenly felt than in the 20 to 24 age group, who carry the burden of the largest unemployed age group in the country. Out of adversity, however, comes opportunity, and this has given birth to small to medium enterprises at an astonishing rate, creating jobs, stimulating the economy, and driving innovation. With me today on the panel are industry leaders who are driving this growth in the marketing and advertising space. They hold a wealth of experience in digital, brand, B2B and mobile marketing, and keen to share the stories of success, the challenges they have faced, the advice that they want to provide you, and where they see the future of marketing and advertising heading. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to our first panelist, Jane Rose. Jane Rose, please tell our viewers more about your background, what you are doing now, and where you see the future of the industry heading.
Okay, I'm Jane Rose Gatobu, a product designer, fashion business consultant, and marketer. I'm passionate about connecting people through art, design, and fashion. I run a brand called Jagari Limited that focuses at being able to amplify brands for young creatives and businesses and being able to elevate their brands through innovation, strategy, and out-of-the-box perspectives. We're always looking into being able to push their brands to be able to create a vision and mission that relates to their story. In the perspective of marketing, we're looking into being able to link the human perspective and the technology perspective so as to be able to connect people through stories.
My name is Alice Kadeo Obino. I am the regional manager for Jaspam. I manage East and West Africa business. I focus a lot on mobile marketing, and the future of marketing is basically on building conversations. And we build these conversations where we find the customer. Everybody in Africa at this rate has a mobile phone or access to one, so we speak to them at that point.
My name is Victoria Kimani. I am the founder at Well Digital. Well Digital seeks to focus on building small and medium enterprises in the digital space. So we basically take our time to ensure that your brand grows, that your stories are out there, and that you're able to elevate your sales through digital marketing. The future of marketing for me, I believe, lies in building up conversations that are relevant, and it also comes from a place of understanding what the market wants in our profession, and then just understanding what the customers want and bringing those two things together.
My name is Johnston Vusena. I'm the director and digital marketing expert at Grid Branding Solution. At Grid Branding Solutions, we help our customers tell their story in a better way. That's in terms of content creation, and this involves a lot of things. Involves photography, it involves videography, it involves now sharing the stories on social media platform, and these stories can be told in a better way as compared to just saying it the way you like to or the way you've been doing it. So at Grid Branding, we help you tell those stories in a best way that people can relate with and people can understand your brand even better. And where I see the future of marketing is when you look at online, people have really moved online. Most people in Kenya, when you look at the internet penetration, most people are really online. So the future of marketing is online. That tells you that if your brand is not yet online, you need to do something about it.
My name is Victor Mutua. I'm a marketing and communication professional with a specialization in B2B marketing, and digital marketing. I also wear many hats. I'm the marketing and communication specialist for an organization called Abreast in Africa, which is a geospatial giant. Location influences everything. On the other hand, I'm also the president of an association called the Top Marketers Club, which brings together sales and marketing professionals from the Eastern Africa region. The future of B2B is digital and personal. This is because in these B2B organizations, it's humans who are responsible for carrying out business. So in your addresses, you have to address them as human beings. You cannot have that, you must have that human touch. So this brings an element of moving from B2B to human to human. So there must be that personal connection. And so that is where I see the future heading. And digital has come to help marketers enter this space and exploit it more. So I think the future is digital and personal. And the guy who will win is the one who exploits this.
So, Panelist, that's really interesting. Some of the topics that you brought up and some of the themes we'll start to elaborate on. I think some of the things that I really picked out and some common themes were about personalization. It's quite interesting because in the Ghana edition, that was one of the key themes that came out as well. So clearly there's a trend there. I also picked up the fact that clients need to tell stories. And I think as marketers, that is our speciality, to help our clients tell our stories. And then, Victor, you mentioned as well about the human touch. And I think that's critical. I think sometimes there's such a focus on data and analytics that actually the human touch is forgotten, and audiences are segmented so far down that actually they don't realize that they're dealing with an individual and have that personal human touch. So, Alice, I just wanted to pick up more mobile marketing because what you're doing at the moment is really interesting. So do you want to expand a bit more about mobile marketing and how are you helping your clients in that field?
Absolutely. Now it's interesting that we've got clients ranging from FMCGs to non-governmental organizations. And the one thing in the African market, and let's just look at the sub-Saharan African market, is the mobile penetration has really grown over the last couple of years. It means we have more reliable networks, we have more reliable data connectivity. So it means people are engaging within their borders and also across borders. So what is happening is we're starting to build conversations where we reach them. It's interesting that my grandmother has a mobile phone and knows how to use it, can go and access money through the mobile phone. So it says, and I think mobile money has probably catapulted this into another level. So it means we're all able, even the lowest level of literacy, can understand the basics on a mobile phone. So that's basically our key. So we look at bringing brands to you through your mobile phone, and it's not limited to just messaging, but it's also through your digital and social media applications. So we try and get you there because I think statistics shows that as much as people do have the number of people accessing the internet through their mobile phone is actually higher than those sitting across a PC. So then what does that say for us in marketing? It means that we need to start focusing there and pushing our content through there. But I also mentioned something to do with building conversations. So initially we started off and it used to be push messaging and really not much feedback from customers. So we don't know do they like our product, do they hate it, what are their sentiments? We can't quite read sentiments when we're pushing content. So a bit of that is changing where we're now using the messaging apps to build a conversation.
Interesting. Okay, and Vicky, I know that you've spoken before about some of the clients that you've been working with, and I found it quite fascinating that you've got a really targeted market that you're going on. So following on from some of the themes that Alice discussed, where are you seeing, the future going, and what kind of parallels can you see with mobile marketing and advertising?
Okay, what I believe is the future of marketing and advertising, it's basically, like she said, mobile is a very huge part of that because all of us in the digital space are thriving in it because there are quite a number of people in this country who have access to internet, and for that reason they have access to a smartphone, and they're using it like all the time. Anytime someone gets a minute to sit down, they're on their phone, and that has really made communication easier. But like she said, at the same time, what marketing used to be was you push out a message and then you just expect the audience to accept it. But now, because of things like Twitter, people being able to give feedback almost immediately, you can't just push a message and then expect people not to push back, especially if they do not relate with it. So you find that whatever you push out, your customers will question it. If it doesn't relate to them, they will tell you almost immediately that they do not do that. And the way to solve that problem is to first ask them, what is it that you want? I feel like clients, and because I work with so many, are so scared of hearing what their customers don't like about them. That's why people go deleting bad comments on social media, and people have already seen them. And I always say that bad feedback is still feedback. And if you really listen, amid all the words that have been said, there is always something that you can improve on. So I really believe the future of marketing is listening. We need to listen a lot more than we give, so that when you give one message, it will impact a lot more than giving 10 consecutive messages that are not really going with the strategy that the people want. Yes.
Brilliant. And that, I mean, you're spot on. I think one of the things you said there about if you push, you have to expect people to push back. And I think that's the stage that we're at now, you know, not just within Kenya or within Africa, but we're seeing that across the globe where, you know, we're a much smaller community, although we're still global, the size of the world hasn't changed. But, you know, I can speak to someone in China who can then speak to someone in Kazakhstan, you know, so because of that reason, you need to have a way for people to engage. You know, you can't just put messages out and expect them to just accept it and that's it. There has to be a level of engagement. Jane Rose, I think what you're doing at the moment is really interesting. So you mentioned that you're wearing a few hats, so you know, product design and marketing as well. So how are you seeing the patterns and the correlation between that?
I'm able to see how collaboration, as people always speak about it, from a very different perspective, where you get to see these stories that you're always talking about, sharing stories. You get to know and understand how creativity from the perspective of a client should be applicable in the messages that you bring about in the market. So just like they've said, pushing messages, and now you're going to receive feedback, but that feedback is like some creative perspective of it, because you need to be able to find a way to package that feedback that you get into a message that is going to come out, and not just a message. It's going to be something that they can relate to. It's a story. Does it relate to my lifestyle? Does it relate to the things that I love? Does it relate to even the music I listen to? Does it relate to the things when I wake up in the morning I start looking at first on my phone? So from my perspective, on the creative perspective, that's where it gets to be, because I get to interact with like artists, I get to interact with designers, and also getting to understand that other industries, like the STEM industries, getting to understand that you can collaborate with these other creative industries to create messages that actually touch on perspectives that they didn't look at before. Because the other moments you look at music, you look at art as very separate entities, but now it's actually part of it. Coming up with products that are shoes, but they have some art in it. So you need to understand how that speaks to a client and how does it come together. As you package your messages, you need to look at that creative perspective. So creativity used to be looked at as a very separate entity from marketing, but now it's actually one of the major key things that needs to be packaged. So that's actually basically what I do. I'm on this end of creativity, trying to package that creativity into the marketing messages. Yeah.
Interesting. And so, Victor, I mean, you know, you talked about running the Top Marketers Club. So do you want to expand on that? And from some of the themes that you're seeing here, do you see any correlation?
Absolutely. Like I said, the Top Marketers Club brings together sales and marketing professionals.
Yeah.
It basically provides a platform for marketing professionals to interact with other professionals, much like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're able to learn from each other. So it provides a platform for that. And that personal touch, because you would treat marketers as products and their customers as well. So you need to know what they want in terms of maybe when we're creating an event. So I'd want to know what marketers want. So, like she said, like Victoria said, listening is very key. So I want to know what other marketers want when we are having events.
So you're marketing to marketers.
Yeah, I'm marketing to marketers.
Okay.
So it provides a very...
It must be tough.
It is because...
Big critics.
Yeah, and also because they know all the tactics. So they can actually see all the gimmicks you try to pull. So we're very happy because they usually come because they know it's for their benefit.
Yeah.
So I think I've gotten the next lot who will be at our next event.
Excellent. Getting them signed up already.
Yes, I'm very happy.
Excellent, good. And Johnston as well. So your agency, I mean, your story is fascinating, Johnston, in terms of where you've come from and what some of your morals and your ethics are. So do you want to just expand on that a bit more as well?
Okay, so like just to give a little story of mine is that I'm a teacher by profession.
Yeah.
But now while in campus, I got interested with things to do with IT, and I joined the Google Club, and through Google Club I was able to learn a lot of information about the digital marketing and some of the IT stuff, and that wasn't enough. So I really was pushed on to start learning online. I've never gone to a digital school, so most of the stuff I learned online, but I also got an opportunity to be a Google Student Ambassador. Excellent. And we were taken to Ghana for training, and that really opened my mind. And when we came back, it was our mandate now to train students and people in the community on how to use digital to help them in their businesses and even in school, since then I was still in campus. So you get like now, me having now gone through that training and having taken people through it, it really made sense for me now after campus. I said, now why not use this as an opportunity to create employment for people and to help small businesses which are starting up. Amazing. And the middle-sized businesses that are still struggling to get to where they want to be. So that's how now I came up with the idea of now starting a digital marketing agency, just to help people tell their story in a way that can be understood with their customers, and turn the audience into customers. Yeah.
Brilliant. Good.